Good morning. Something wonderful is happening this morning. Yes, something wonderful is happening right here, right now. God is in this place. Yes, and the resolution went from Seal Beach to Namaste, and the Namaste resolution went to Seal Beach, and voila, a combo service. Welcome to Combo Sunday. And to Facebook and Zoom, big air hugs, Combo Sunday. So turn to your neighbor and welcome your neighbor. Thank you so much. There is a lot of welcome and love in this room, and that is wonderful. It truly is wonderful. So now, if you feel so moved to stand and dance while Jody serenades us with our opening congregational song, Holy, Holy Way. Thank you so much, Jody. And now, if you would like to join me for the mission statement. Oh, the beautiful design. The mission statement will be up soon. Ah, there it is. If you would like to join me. We are a love spiritual sanctuary where everyone is welcome. We celebrate the abundance of life through study, inspiration, gratitude, and service. With open hearts and minds, we participate in a self-transformation for a world that works for everyone. Thank you. And now for the introductions. Our monthly theme is Boot and reboot. Doesn't it seem that we're always rebooting the phone? And doesn't it seem that we're always rebooting the computer? Yes. And isn't it amazing it actually works? We don't have a clue. Why shutting it down makes it work, I'll never know, but it works. So we're rebooting and rebooting in a spiritual kind of way. And our talk today is the internal song. Wow. That internal song could be eternal, I'm not sure, maybe. So I want to introduce you our rebooting, transformation, transitional team of wonderful people. And we have, stand up, take a bow, Reverend John De Palma. And sharing external songs, Jody Siegel. And our reboot practitioner team, the ever Carol Ann Perini and Nikki Freeman. And another reverend to stand up and take a bow, Reverend Bobby Becker, is going to lead us. She's going to lead us in the Namaste-style benediction. I'm Lorraine Urbina. I'm a team of 4 care team members. And now we're going to start our announcements. Let's see, Valerie Day and Reverend Veronica, where are you? Come on up. Come on up.
Hi. Woo. Hey, Namaste
Hey.
in Seal Beach. Wow, how fun to be here.
Yes, it is. We are so excited. We are so excited about our upcoming Vision Board workshop this Saturday, January 21st. Have you heard about it?
Yes. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Valerie Day, and I lead our circle, which is our healing arts ministry at Namaste.
And I am Reverend Veronica. I lead the first Wednesdays, Digging Deeper, at Namaste as well.
And so we just thought it would be super fun to get together and create vision boards because we've been doing so much work with, you guys had your fire bowl ceremony, and we had our winter solstice, and so let's put that into a vision board.
Right, into manifestation. So a lot of times we think vision board is just about stuff that we want in our life, but what we want to download in our vision board class is a feeling. How do we want to feel? How do we want to express in this upcoming 2023, okay? How does that sound? Yes? Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
So register on Eventbrite. We'll see you Saturday, 1:30 to 4:30. Bring a healthy dish to share and scissors and magazines.
And ready for a good time.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. Well, I want to feel more joy in 2023. And with that, I would like to welcome Marjorie Ray, our one-woman, incredible energizer, fun, work, amazing. We did this beautiful meeting last week, and she led that. And it was really complex, a lot of moving parts, and she and her team made it look so simple. And then you raised your hands, or you raised your ballots, and you voted. You were wonderful. Thank you for being there. And today, Marjorie is going to do the announcements and take us into transition spiritual time. Welcome, Marjorie.
That is just a wonderful segue. Yes, we have, up till now, we've been collaborating. Last week, we all voted and decided we wanted to explore deeper and look at the possibilities of actually joining together. And so today, we launched the exploration, which to me is just utterly exciting. And I would like to wish a happy birthday to Susan Collick, who happened, happy birthday, Susan, come up here. Come up here. Susan is my counterpart at Namaste. She is president of the board, whereas I am chair of the leadership. And we have sort of navigated our congregations to this point, and we're delighted to turn it over now to Chris Schreiber and Keith Watanabe, because they're going to take the exploration on from here. So I want to wish you a happy birthday. Could we sing happy birthday?
Well, I do it like a bluesy way. Is that
All
okay?
right.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, it's you. Happy birthday to you. Many more.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, this, is so easy to work with. You know, this whole thing, I've been in awe at how easy it has come together and how easily we come together and just make joy together. So what I would like to also, our announcement, we have saved the date for February 23rd. Sylvia Hungerford and Juanita Gardner are teaching a certified song, oh my goodness, certified, no, well, Juanita loves music, but in any case, a certified class. And Sylvia, you can raise your hand. Juanita isn't here this morning, but she'll be here this afternoon. The class is Ernest Holmes, and it's based on a book by Jesse Jennings, and if any of you have any experience with him, he's a marvelous writer. He makes Ernest Holmes understandable. So, and that's something to say. So that will start February 23rd on Thursday, and just save the date. And with that, I think I'll take a deep breath and just say now we're going to take a breath. I invite all of you to take a breath and allow yourself to just sink into that center, that space where love and peace and joy and harmony reside as we move into our transition into our sacred time.
The Lord's Prayer is a prayer of petition. The speaker is asking God for the things he believes only God can give him. At first, the speaker approaches this God humbly and unassuming, ingratiating himself and beseeching God to listen to his request. He then lists the things that he wants, his petitions, and at the end again, reminds this God that indeed God, he, is the power forever and ever.
In Science of Mind, we believe and celebrate the sanctity of our finite connection to Spirit and the infinite quality of God within each of us. God is, we are. There is no separation in the universe, so there is no need to petition to a source outside of ourselves. We are one with the all and each other. Also, in the Lord's Prayer, the petitioner is approaching a masculine God. In our teachings, God is not masculine, nor is it feminine. Simply put, God or Spirit is an it, if you will, without gender.
The theme for today is boot and reboot. We decided to reboot the Lord's Prayer, adapting it to a more contemporary mindset. We will share two versions of the Lord's Prayer. The first version is the traditional Lord's Prayer taken from the Gospel of Matthew and Luke. This is the boot portion of our share, which will be shared by me, Nikki. After each line, Carol Ann will share our contemporary version, a reboot, if you will, of the traditional version from the 1st century AD.
What instigated our reboot version was a prayer written by Mary Baker Eddy, which was her own rebooted version. This version appeared in Science and Health, 1875, pages 16, 17, and there's no known copyright. For those who may not know, Mary Baker Eddy was the founder of Christian Science. She trained Emma Curtis Hopkins, who in turn trained Ernest Holmes and several other New Thought leaders. Holmes, of course, developed the philosophy of science of mind that we celebrate today. So as we adjust this rebooted prayer, if you would take a moment to just settle into your seats if you haven't done so already. And we begin.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Great Spirit, the universal mind, the all of all, infinite and eternal,
Hallowed be thy name.
is known by many names.
Thy kingdom come.
The kingdom of God is within each of us.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
As we think and pray, our lives reflect that which is within us.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Filled with the gifts of the creative law, we feed one another from farm to table, from factory to homes, ever mindful that our efforts are generated from hearts to hands to hearts.
And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
Love is reflected as love, beauty as beauty, joy as joy. We are already that which God is.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
No matter whether we choose to turn toward or turn away, the life force within each of us responds by corresponding.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
We are the embodiment of the kingdom of God. We are finite expressions of that one life. We surrender to that spirit within each of us, knowing that it is ever ready to say, yes, my beloved, yes. And together we say,
And so
"And
it is."
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. Feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom in the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly in the sun, you know how I feel. Butterflies having fun, you know how I feel. Sleep in peace when day is done, and this old world in a boat world for me. And I'm feeling good. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling good.
So how are we feeling? Isn't that a great reboot song? Reboot, reboot. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Now let me ask you something, and I wonder this every New Year, is when is it too late to wish someone Happy New Year? February. Well, you know, I wonder about that. I guess if you haven't seen the person all year, then at the end of the year, you could even say Happy New Year, but you know, it's kind of funky. So maybe we need to reboot that idea about how long we can say Happy New Year to someone. So think about that. So as Lorraine said, you know, we reboot our computers, you know, when they get glitchy, when they freeze up. And what a great analogy to this time of year of thinking about, you know, what is going on in my life that's glitchy that might benefit, you know, that paradigm that I'm operating from, maybe it needs to change. And so what can I do to reboot that idea, that paradigm, whatever is glitchy in our life? And what I'd like to suggest is that we re-root ourselves or root ourselves in the remembrance of who we've come here to be. Because that gets to a much deeper purpose for us. And if you've been coming to a Science of Mind center anytime in the last 20 years, 30 years, whatever, traditionally, the month of January, we revisit the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook. The thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. 26 pages encompassing the entire teaching. And if you've studied it and learned it and restudied it and learned it and embodied it and practiced, you're well on the way of having some command of the creative process. Now, if you don't know what the creative process is, it's a power and intelligence, a wisdom, a force, a felt presence that permeates every aspect of creation. It's in every one of us. It's not something that we need to earn, but we certainly need to learn it. We don't have to earn it, but we need to learn it. Because it will create exactly according to our predominant, habitual thinking, feeling, whatever we do. So we've got to practice. So it's simple, right? Well, Ernest Holmes, our founder, had a dream. And in his Sermon by the Sea, and you've probably all heard this before, he says this: "You find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as it is, and I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth." Have you heard that before? Yeah. Know it, use it, and live it. So Ernest Holmes is dead. I'm here now. And I wonder what Ernest would say whether he would be surprised at how little progress we've made toward that new earth, that new heaven. You know, have we made progress? And so it's safe to ask, well, why? Why haven't we seen that? And I suppose there's a lot of good reasons for it. Chief among them, maybe it's because we spend all our time trying to make it a religion instead of an interpretation of life, which I think makes a big difference because that puts pressure on the organization and the ministers to find the best way to use it and teach it. But I think it gets in the way of living it. I just wonder about that. Because I know for me, you know, even in the busyness of life, I get distracted. And so I know that when I get distracted and, you know, the ship hits the sand, that I need to use it, but I may not be living it with every breath that I take. And I think there's a big difference there. So as you may know, Reverend Kath and I, my wife, recently returned from a minister's retreat in Egypt. And it was a life-changing experience, like climbing a mountain. Well, on the way down the mountain, you know, we're both exhilarated and exhausted, trying to process everything that we were going through. And we landed home just before Thanksgiving, like 2 days before. Now, fortunately, we were in contact with my son, and he went to Whole Foods and ordered all the stuff, and so we were able to bring it home and, you know, hit the ground running for establishing what I like to call base camp. Base camp is where you know, refresh, catch your breath, replenish the stores for the next, you know, climb or assault or whatever you're going to do, right? Whatever the goal is. Well, I call it the base camp holiday experience because it goes from Thanksgiving through New Year's. It's a long stretch of time. And in that, of course, you know, you deal with all of the extended family. We did a Zoom with Kath's family in South Carolina, with my family in Connecticut, with my daughter in Wisconsin. We had my son come into town, my other son come into town. In fact, so the range of my kids is from 24 to 44. And so the 44-year-old just left Monday after spending a week with us. So it's been quite a stretch of activity, you know, all around all of this family stuff. And whether it ranges from, you know, trauma to challenge to exhilaration. And so, you know, you think about, well, what is it that you want to give your kids? You know, you just want to be there for them. You want to give them good advice and nurture and love. And it's like, climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life for as long as you live. Now, of course, my kids look at me and say, you're crazy. You have no idea what I'm going through. Now, they don't really say that, and I don't really sing to them because they're polite. But the fact is that I have no idea what they're going through. You know, that's their path. And what I know is you can't speak to your autobiography until they feel heard, that they feel validated in whatever it is that they're going through. And so that requires something that few of us know how to do, especially with our kids, is just listen, right? Rather than giving advice. And, you know, so we give them our time, we get into deep conversations, we give them our money, we give them comfort food and advice and all of those things. But I'm here to tell you that the most important thing that reflects on the result is the quality of our spiritual practice, right? The base camp depends on the solidity of our practice to send them out into the world to do what they need to do. And if we don't have that grounding, then we tend to move into the fear and worry and anxiety and all of that, right? So the spiritual practice is fundamental here. And what we know is that when we are grounded in base camp and able to come from that place, they will leave with maybe a little more spring in their step and a smile on their face. Because nothing comes from nothing. Nothing ever could. Sometime in my spiritual practice, I must have thought something good. Now, I'm not going to sing anymore. So what is that quality in base camp that increases the efficacy of your spiritual practice? You know, whether you think about it or not, whether you have kids or not, the quality of your spiritual practice makes all the difference as you think about rebooting or whatever your goal is for this year, whether it's a resolution or whatever you want to intend, whatever mountains you have to climb or rivers to cross. And if we're to fulfill Ernest Holmes' dream, we'll have to do a little more than improve our ability to find parking spaces or new jobs or relationships. Not that those things aren't important, but it's stuff. It's using the science of mind, not necessarily living it. Does that make sense? So somewhere in our intentions and resolutions for New Year's, there's got to be a commitment to do the most powerful thing that we can do, which is deepen our spiritual practice. And so, you know, where do you spend most of your hours of the day? For most of us, it's been work, right? And those hours of work have led to a certain level of expertise, right? We get good at our jobs. And so if we're to increase our commitment to spiritual practice, what does that mean? We have to spend more time in that practice. I mean, think about the hours that you put into your job to get good. So just an incremental increase will show tremendous results. What I've noticed in myself is too much wishing and hoping. Sorry, I couldn't resist. We tend to smoke the hopium pipe too often. We need to spend more time praying and thinking and planning. Because we don't do that. We tend to come from a place, at least I see in myself, of being reactionary in my treatment, right? Something comes up, bam, do treatment, take care of it. But that's not really living from that place. I love, I guess a couple of weeks ago, Reverend Catherine Bonin was here, and she talked about the universe offers a reservoir of possibilities, a reservoir of possibilities. Imagine that. Now, I know up until just a few days ago, you couldn't really think of a full reservoir. But now that's done, right? For the most part. But when you are thinking of possibilities in your life, do you take a thimble to the reservoir? Do you take a bucket? Do you take a fire hose? You know, or if you think about it in terms of swimming, are you just swimming along the surface? Or are you ready to take a deep dive into those possibilities? And I think that's really what Ernest Holmes was urging us to do, to fully embody who we have come here to be by diving deeply into the human experience, rather than setting it aside and saying it's all good. Is diving deep into that and understanding that whatever anyone else is experiencing, there is something within me that knows exactly what that is or needs to know what it is from their perspective. To know more deeply what this life is about through the eyes of someone else. Because we are responsible, whether we like it or not, we are responsible for the evolution of consciousness in this life, in this community, in this world. That's the primary reason we're here, for evolving consciousness. Now, consciousness will evolve with or without us. I mean, it will just happen. But we can accelerate it by making a conscious choice to deepen our spiritual practice. And if we're not willing to take that deep dive into practice, then we've got to think about, does complaining about how things are have any traction at all? You know, I love the way Abraham Hicks talks about that, is when we beat the drum of our discontent, it causes more of that discontent to happen in our lives. And so we have to be able to look at ourselves and say, you know, what discontent, and am I just hammering out there all the time? Because that's how it works. So the question is, what is it that there is to do that accelerates evolution? Because if we're talking about deepening that spiritual practice, where is it? Well, as we mark the Martin Luther King holiday, his dream still points in the right direction, I believe. That his 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Like Ernest Holmes, I wonder if Dr. King might be surprised at the pace of progress in his dream. Even in this community, we still have persons of color flooded by a tsunami of whiteness that drowns their dreams. Even in this community, we have people who have a different orientation toward love that are unsafe and stifled and rejected just in their everyday life. Even in this community, we have elderly that have deep experience and talents that are marginalized as being irrelevant, and they struggle to find their place and purpose in our community. So there's lots of room for us to expand and grow and deepen. Dr. King's daughter, Bernice, said that when her dad talked about the beloved community, he talked about everyone bringing their gifts and talents and their cultural expressions. She says, we live in a society where we may have differences, of course, but we must learn to celebrate those differences. And even beyond celebrating, there's a certain energy that happens when we come together to explore our differences and come up with new ideas, new solutions, innovation, creativity that have never existed before and could not happen unless we had gotten together to do that kind of work. We need to reach across barriers and personal differences, knowing that in doing that, we are divinely inspired, guided, and supported. Whenever we want to manifest something, we want to think about, what is the feeling that I would have if this thing were to be manifest? And then, so we think about this in terms of rebooting and what we want for the new year. And then, what are the actions that support that feeling? Not the thing, not the end point, but the feeling. So I asked this community, if we were to demonstrate the beloved community, what would that feel like? And then what actions do we need to take that support that feeling? And when I think about that, it makes me feel good, right? Over the past year, we've had 2 spiritual communities getting to know each other, finding common ground, having difficult to have conversations, praying and playing together. And that makes me feel good. We've come together today to begin working in a safe environment with extraordinary respect and compassion and understanding. And that makes me feel good. You know how I'm feeling? And now we have 5 teams of 46 people from diverse backgrounds with extraordinary talents, setting up a base camp supported by all of you to ascend into the rarefied atmosphere of exploring and discovering that beloved community. Oh, that makes me feel real good. Exactly. You know how I'm feeling? It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new year. And how are we feeling? We're feeling good. And so it is.
Y'all are so quiet. I think you should have sang that song, Feeling Good. Wow, you guys are good. This world keeps trying to bring me down, but I ain't listening to those crazy sounds. Got my own frequency. Whoa, got my own moves. Ain't nobody gonna mess with my groove. No, wild hearts can't be broken. Wild heart, it beats inside of me. Wild hearts, whoa, need to be free. See, I wasn't made in no assembly line. I might have an attitude, but at least it's mine. I'll keep trying to reach you. I'll even meet you halfway. Push me too far, I don't wanna play no. Wild hearts can't be broken. Wild hearted beats inside of me. Wild hearts, whoa, need to be free. Free to be whoever I wanna be. Whatever is calling me, get down. I got nothing to lose, oh, but everything to gain. Spirit like mine can't be tamed, no. Wild hearts can't be broken. Oh, wild hearted beats inside of me. Wild hearts keep on growing. A wild hearted beats inside of me. Wild hearts, oh, need to be free. Need to be free. Whoa, wild hearts need to be free. Wild hearts, whoa, need to be free. Wow, you guys are great. I'm serious. It's hard to clap that long.
Thank you, Jody Siegel. We are carried away. Wow, Reverend John. I'm thinking this personal practice of yours is really setting you free. Thank you, practitioners. How wonderful you are. Lord's Prayer, rebooted. I really enjoyed that. Thank you. How are you feeling? Good, right? We're ready for that donation slide. They're feeling good. So, God is at work here. Abundance is at work here. Goodness is at work here. We are feeling good. So, because of that, what a joy and how much gratitude I have to give, and we give to this wonderful place to learn our spiritual practice. You can do online giving. I like to give on my credit card every month. You can do PayPal. You can text on that phone, just kind of like reboot it and text it in. We have donation stations. There's one. Can you lift it up? That donation station. These are all over the place. You can put cash, credit card, digital, whatever you want. It's here for you. And now we're going to put the slide up for our offering prayer. Please join me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prospered. Thank you, God. And practitioner Winda and the children. Are the children coming in today? Do we have children? Oh, the practitioners are children. That's right. Thank you. Will the practitioners please stand? So these children are experts in the science of mind. And if you need support to live your science of mind philosophy, these experts will support you in affirmative prayer and help you on your path. Please see them after the service or anytime you want. And I see all of you now. Thank you for being here. Children today? When? Take it away.
My brothers and my sister and me. We are family. Got my brothers and my sister and me. We are family. Got my brothers and my sister and me. We are family. Got my brothers and my sister and me.
Thank you, Jody. Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see, so good to see a full house, to see all your smiles. Yes, yay, yay. So as you can see, we worked today on what we're calling smile boards. Yes. And some people know them as vision boards, but today we're just calling them smile boards. It's anything that makes us smile. And we also know that what we think about and what we focus our attention on is what expands. So we just put everything on our boards that make us happy because we just want to expand that high vibe feeling in our lives. And so we're going to go ahead and some of us are going to share what's on our vision board. So I'm going to set Mr. Landon down here. And these are the things that make Landon happy. You want to hold that, buddy? We've got lions and bears and hippos. Okay, Evan.
If you want something to change, don't just sit there and do nothing. Get up and change it.
Mic drop. Nice. Lexi?
I said that our thoughts help create the perfect working environment.
And next week they'll be giving the service. Okay. Go ahead.
I said that we should all choose to stay flexible and flow through the day.
I really couldn't. All of them? I really couldn't love this anymore right now. Okay, what do we got going on, Ellis?
The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up.
And I took that as some deep philosophical, like, wake up to your truth. And Ian's like, can I take a picture of that for Ethan? Because he just can't get out of bed. He took it as literally waking up. Okay, Chloe, do you want to show your board? Want to hold it up real big for everyone? Yeah. Beautiful. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Janice and Mr. Ian. And that is it from our youth program.
Thank you, Reverend Bobby. You're going to come up and do the benediction.
John, thank you for having this on, or Mary, thank you, Mary. So if you could put up the benediction, I'm going to just step out here for a moment. And the reason we do it this way at Namaste is because I started to see people every Sunday going, la da 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 da, when they were reading it. They were reading it without really thinking about it. And we get in that habit. If we read something every day, we stop seeing the words. We start feeling what it means. So we decided to inject a little feeling into this. So for those of you that this is your first time and the shock shows up a little bit, I'm just going to invite you to open up to the fact that it is said from a place of love. So if I could invite everyone to stand. So there is something amazing happening. And there's a word that encompasses that, but there's definitely something happening. So I'm going to ask you, what is happening right now?
Something wonderful is happening right now.
Hold on there. Way to go. Way to jump in there right away. What is happening that is so amazing right now?
It is this thing called life.
I'm speechless. Life. Life is that encompassing word that expresses that what is happening all the time, whether you like it or not, right? It's life. It is our choice. And as what John has spoken to, if you don't like it, who said that earlier? I think it was you. If you don't, right? So where is this thing called life?
Life is in my mind.
And?
Life is in my body.
Now, you've just spoken about things. But now we're going to talk about the fact that life just isn't about sitting there reading a book or just giving a prayer or just hoping that it changes. What is it? So if you don't like what's happening, look at what you're doing, right? So if it's all that I do, what am I going to do that next?
I give thanks for it.
And
I accept it.
hold on, because this is so important. It is, isn't it, Donna West? How am I going to accept it?
Just the way it is.
Hold on. What's next is really important, because some of you don't like to do this, do you? So I want you to reach into that place of joy and say this next line, which is,
just the way it is not.
That's just as important as just the way I like it, right? Because honestly, just the way I don't like it is a good place to pick up that rock and look under there. What's happening? What am I doing? What am I believing? What am I thinking? So with that, we're going to do the last line, which is all about the most powerful spiritual practice that you can actually do. So I want you to start feeling it. Wiggle your toes, even if you can't in those very tight shoes that you wore today. Wiggle your toes, move your feet, feel gratitude start to move up. And for those of you, put your hands up in the air as it starts moving up through your body, into your head, and as it comes through your hands, you're going to say this like you have never, ever said this before. Are you ready? Yes. So with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, life!
Thank you, Reverend Bobby. And Eileen, you want to come up and do the signing? And Jody, take it away, peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we.
you. Thank you. Thank you. What? It's koa. Koa wood. Oh, great.
7 months.